now all of a sudden, because just based on what happened last year, now all of a sudden I would actually kick the tires on somehow making that happen.
The only reservation I have with
not gonna
Cousins
happen.
is he's a locker room killer, and he's just a big, giant black hole stats guy so far in his career.
True.
That's all he's been.
Now, when he was playing this year before he tore his Achilles, he was actually playing alongside Anthony Davis, and they were trending towards a playoff team. They ended up playing a little bit better without him, actually, though.
I think a locker room killer might fit in very well here in D.C. because we seem to have a few of them.
Right.
I think
maybe that would fit into the culture here. I don't know.
Maybe he's matured and he'd be playing alongside a Kentucky guy.
Now another
John Wall.
Another name that I've heard surfacing is Enes Kanter. If he's freed up from his deal in New York,
it's not a game changer.
Not a game changer, but he's a big that can he's better than Gortat.
That's the kind of guy.
Younger.
That's the kind of guy they would get though. It ain't going to be a big three type.
Right. They're not going to get LeBron. They're not going to swing a deal.
Well, hold on. Here, let me just say, work with me on half of the hypothetical.
Yeah.
Just work with me on half of it.
Hold up. Just take a step back. Remember, I told you, the scenario that needs to be played is the DeMatha angle, EB. You need all your DeMatha guys trying to get Bronny.
That's grasper.
Right, he's entering 8th grade.
Right.
And I do think that that's the biggest factor for LeBron. It's the family and legacy. Like, what's it going to be like if he leaves Cleveland again?
Right.
Now, I think Cleveland's going to be okay.
They seem to already be accepting of it.
It's weird. Because they won one for the first time in, 60-plus years, whatever it was. He delivered a championship.
If you live in Cleveland, LeBron did what he was supposed to do for you. But I think
you see video of him this week where he was at his son's game and Bronny went for a dunk and missed it. But LeBron was in the stands going nuts, and I think at halftime he was like coaching his team. He's involved in his son's basketball career, and I believe, this is speculative, that LeBron wants to stick around in the NBA until Bronny makes the NBA, if he ends up making the NBA, which would put him at, I think, 40 or 39.
But just work with me on this scenario, on half of the hypothetical. And I agree, and it's the first thing I said to my buddy. I think you're underselling how difficult it's going to be to get rid of Mahinmi and Porter. But if they were able to, let's just say they were able to, why wouldn't he consider it? He could do a DeMatha or, hell, even a St. There are plenty of great basketball schools around here.
What I'd say is that LeBron, I think it was during the championship series, said that he wants to play along guys who are talented and have great minds. So does he think that John Wall has a great mind for basketball?
This is
I don't know.
Here's why I think LeBron would never consider the Wizards.
Even if they had $40 million in cap space.
I don't care how much cap space
John
they have.
Wall doesn't fit well with LeBron in that he's not a great off-the-ball shooter, and LeBron wants point guards. Like, if you think about it, when he won the championship, he had Mario Chalmers, who was a point guard, but it's mostly a guy who just spotted up, and he had Ray Allen.
I think LeBron looks at the Wizards, and I'm sure he looks at a lot of other franchises this way. He just looks at them as, you're a second-class citizen. Why would I ever bring my talents to D.C.?
Right.
When I can go wherever I want. I can pick whatever team I want. I've beaten you guys up in the playoffs in years before. You're always going to be second-class citizen. Why would I stoop to playing with the Wizards?
What makes the Wizards with Wall and Beal better than, the Bucks, for example, with the Greek Freak, or any of these teams in the East, or the Toronto Raptors with DeRozan and Lowry.
Well, if they have to be able to pull off, they have to be able to pull off the cap space too, and then maybe they would be attractive. But if they could pull off that cap space, why would they?
Well, you know how Eric looks at the Bengals and the Cardinals as these teams that are awful and have no history.
They're always inferior.
They're the Bengals, or they're the Rams, or they're the Cardinals. That's how LeBron views the Wizards.
That's what I think.
I don't disagree.
I think he looks at it. He looks at DC as,
but that's how people viewed the Cavs until he got there.
Yeah, but he had a connection. He had a hometown connection to the Cavs. That's
the difference is LeBron knows that wherever he goes, especially in the Eastern Conference, he's damn near almost guaranteed to at least get you to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Yes.
That's the difference.
He could go to the Hawks, who were I think they were the worst team in the Eastern Conference.
They're abysmal. They're terrible.
You go to the Hawks.
They'll carry them. They'll find a way to win 50-some games. And they'll grind out playoff wins until they play the Celtics.
Look, I think the theory of having two guys who are all stars alongside LeBron would make it a team that was somewhat attractive.
Honestly,
But there are other teams.
If I were LeBron, here's what I would do.
Teams
I wouldn't even think twice about it. I would call up the Golden State Warriors and I would say, you guys need to clear the deck, make room for my $35 million. I'm hopping on the super team bandwagon.
Well, then
and I'm going to close all my
credibility.
Why would they do that?
Why would
they don't
do
need
that?
him. Yeah. They don't need him.
They beat them.
They just do it with another super team.
I don't begrudge, and I actually think LeBron should find a super team, but he can't join the Warriors. That's the one thing he can't do, even if they could.
The Warriors wouldn't do that
because they don't need him.
They might consider it.
They beat him already.
But you want to talk about trashing his legacy.
But the Rockets are the team that supposedly would make a play. Now, James Harden, when he won his MVP, he made a point of saying he thinks they're good enough. It was kind of a message to management. Don't mess with the team. I like the guys we're rolling with. Chris Paul. Look, he missed the last 2 games.
He lost Trevor threes up.
They were up 3-2 on Golden State.
Yep.
With home court advantage. And Chris Paul hurt his hamstring. Missed the last 2 games.